When people talk about bass drum heads, three always get brought up. The Remo Power Stroke 3, the Evans E Mad, and the Aquarian Super Kick. However, we're not talking about those last two. We're going to talk about this head here and a few of its other friends. I've had this head on this kick drum pretty much since I've had the kit. Actually, I'll take that back. I did have the Remo Power Stroke 3 with the black dot. I've had that on there for a while. And then I switched back to this. The head that originally came with the drum set. I love it. You know, it's a Power Stroke 3. What bad can I say about it? I've been wanting to change this head for a little minute. Just to like experiment, because on my special Tama Royal Star kit that I have emperors on everything except for the reso size on the toms. I've seemed to have came to a conclusion that the older that I get, the more that I like the same type of head on everything. I feel like it's a better consistent sound overall. You know, I'm getting that Emperor sound on the toms. I'm getting that same Emperor sound on the snare. I'm getting that Emperor sound on the kick drum. You know, it's something more consistent all around. I mean, that's how I feel. Versus having a different head for every other tom or something like that. It just sounds like a bunch of drums together. And I've slowly started to come back to two-ply heads because I grew up with two-ply heads on the kick drum. Eventually, I just walked away from it because growing up, the only heads that I was able to have was whatever Bond's Music had in our hometown, which was the Remo pinstripe. Every other church that I knew of had either the Power Stroke 3, the stock P3 from any other drum company that kind of had their own heads. Pearl had their own P3. It had like a deeper dampening ring on it. Either that or you had the E-Mad. You know, at one point, the E-Mad was heavy in every church. I mean, it still is, but it's not the same. It's definitely not the same, especially during a time of no social media. I started liking two-ply heads when my friend Nate had an E-Mad 2 on his kick drum, and then when I was starting to play Remo, kind of liked the P4. I never had a kick drum that had no dampening on the heads. I started with the Emperor, coated Emperor. I did on that Tama kit. It took me a minute to get used to, especially once the head finally got sat on the shell. It was very different, very, very different. I find that it was giving more frequency response overall. The also cool thing is that I don't have to hit the drum so hard because of how loud the drum is now. I feel like when stuff starts to get dampened, the volume goes away. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. You know, just depends on the musical taste and on what you're trying to do. I figured it'd be a cool time to kind of do something I've never done before. I'm gonna do a demo of playing this head and its friends that I have here that are two-ply heads. So I have the Remo Powersonic, and then I have the Remo Clear Emperor. I got this one from my friend Daniel Cook. He had some heads that he was throwing away. Then I got this from Okela Music Exchange. I'm gonna start with the most dampened head, the Remo Powersonic. When this head came out, this was like during my two-ply bass drum head era. I really, really wanted this head when this head came out. So when I got it from my Pearl Export kit. And I loved it on that kit. When I put it on my Royal Star kit and I took it out to my first gig with Shima Shine outside at a Lickiola Park. I think it was an LGBTQ festival or something like that. I didn't like it outside at the Lickiola Park. I haven't found another kick drum that worked with it well. With Poplar, it's a very soft tone with pre-dampened heads. I feel like they sound the best either on drums that are they got a soft sound, or drums that got a very extreme amount of attack. So with this kick drum here, this Gretsch Renon RN2, maple itself is going to have a lot of attack. And this drum itself has a stupid amount of attack. It's got punch, it's got body, it's everything. I'm going to try it with the dampened flap here and then without. Each head that I'm going to put on this kick drum is going to have the same tuning. I'm going to put the tunings of the bass drum heads right here. The kick drum itself is going to have an Evans EQ pad, but for the Powersonic, we'll take the flap off. because of how pre-dampened it is. Everything's going to be straight dry. The only extended sound is going to be the actual acoustics in this room. Other than that, let's get to this demo. I almost forgot to mention, for tuning wise, I'm using these very special Remo drum keys. With the music that I do, the Emperor is going to work better in other rooms where I don't have to work the drum so much. I don't have to play so hard to compensate because the volume that I'm losing when it's pre-dampened. Now this is just playing it, just putting it on the kit. Once I let this thing really sit, it's going to be a whole nother monster. In the black church, or just in black in general, the kick and the snare had to punch the loudest. They had to be the most out there, which ends up people getting their pedals broken because they're just stomping the living crap out of them. Not everything has to be all loud. Like, give yourself some room to work with, so when you do go loud, you do have some room to go. If you're already here, where is you gonna go? You know? I like to have myself somewhere like right there, like right here. And then if I need to go louder, I think I can go there. I can have some dynamics and different drum characteristics around my drum set. Because the drums are gonna sound different versus it being like moderately played at a medium velocity than a higher velocity. Like if you're doing something very light, kind of medium-ish, and then, you know. But to be honest, I think I'm gonna stay with the Emperor. If I notice it's something different, then I'll give the Powersonic a shot. Yeah, it sounds great in here, you know, with all the acoustics in here. You know, I'm getting that oomph from the drums in this room. But what does it sound like out somewhere where I don't have like acoustic ambience or reverb or whatever the case may be? I have to take that into consideration. Besides all that, what was your favorite head out of the three that I've demoed today? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.